How's it going, everyone? My name is Alexander Petrie, the owner of Gaming Tracks Radio, and welcome back to another episode of Gaming Tracks. So, we just got the state of play on Tuesday. Let me just tell you, it's absolutely fantastic. In the second half of this video, we will discuss our predictions and expectations for Summer Game Fest. Now, my brother wasn't able to do the second half. I knew he would be bombarded with schoolwork. He actually showed me how much work he had to do, and I kid you not, he was using a scroll wheel, and I'm like, "When's it going to end?" He has like 100 assignments, and I'm not even exaggerating. He has like 100 assignments due over the next 2 months. It's crazy, but he wasn't able to do it, which is fine with me. I did manage to bring alongside me my friend Nathan, so you'll be introduced to him, who will actually help for the second half of portions of these episodes. So I'm very thankful for him to be a part of the show. My brother did manage to send in a Games for Impact, so here's a little bit of a sample taste of what you'll hear in the second half of the show.
I know that Gary's Mod is a very arcade style game where you can just mess around, do anything you want, play any game mode you want. And I feel like that kind of translated into a lot of the games I play, such as Risk of Rain 2 or Deep Rock Galactic.
So stay tuned for more of that. But before I go and dive into all this stuff, I didn't actually manage to say this for the first episode, but I just want to say thanks to everyone who has helped do this sort of journey of mine along the way, including my dad, who's helped with the website, my friend, the intro that you listened for this show. My friend is actually the one who created the song. So it's a really, I just want to say thanks to him. He takes his time to do that, and it really touches my heart that he manages to do that stuff for me. And I want to give thanks to my uncle, who helps with the sweepers, and most importantly, my brother for the show. He helps, and the people that listen. I just want to say thank you for those who tune in and those that will be submitting voice memos as the show continues. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who has helped impact the radio show. As I go ahead and try to give back to you guys, I just want to say thank you. But let's go ahead and start talking about the state of play that occurred on Tuesday. Here's the thing. And I see they say this at the end of every single state of play. People kind of gripe, they complain. They're like, "Okay, this thing was mid. It was like a 7. Okay, it was like an IGN 7." And to me, when I see that, I'm thinking like like you say it's average, but at the end of the day, I think it's important to look in the eyes of what these event holders are trying to do, whether that's PlayStation, whether that's Jeff Keighley. They're trying to entice and kind of like hype up everyone. Like they're trying to involve every type of gamer, even the gotcha gamers. My God, you got to get them involved, even though I don't like it myself. But anyway, you got to have these people involved, and the more individuals that you have involved, the more appeal and more satisfying that everyone will feel. Now, even though you might rate it a 7, it's all around everyone's gotta give it a 7. Meanwhile, if it was just going to be turn-based Final Fantasy combat and so on and so forth, yeah, those fans would probably slap a good old 10 on there. But those damn gotcha gamers, they'd probably throw a fat old 0 on there. But I think that's really important to take in consideration that you got to get everyone involved. Everyone needs to be involved in the shows, and I think that's what this state of play had done really well. Now, speaking of the state of play that occurred on Tuesday, I just want to say I think it was a really smart decision for them to include so much gameplay. Even though the state of play was only an hour and they had 20 minutes of God of War and around 7 to 8 minutes of Wolverine in the beginning, that left no room for filler. And I'm not saying those niche indie games are bad or anything, but a lot of those indie games, they're one in a dozen. And that's just the truth. I see the games like that all the time on Steam. So just the fact that we got a lot of bigger budget, more enticing games shown at this state of play, I I honestly really felt like my time was well spent watching this. With all of that being said, I do have to say that the games that were shown, a lot of which were just games we already knew that were already shown, if that makes it like we got nothing more than release date reveals. We've already heard these games in development and maybe even a seasonal release date, September, February. Oh my gosh. Yeah, my wallet, dude. My wallet's gotta be completely broken around those times of year. Outside of that, I thought the state of play, the Wolverine game, it's exactly what I wanted it to be. It's brutal. One of the clips from that gameplay that I just looked at and I'm like, huh, was Wolverine kicking a dude into a fork truck. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, you know, wonder what else, like, I wonder what other scripted-ish type of things you could do with these enemies. Like, what other kind of shish kebabs can you make with out of these enemies by throwing them into different objects and whatnot? Because I feel like there's a lot more than that, but that was just a sample taste of what you can do in this Wolverine. But it was really awesome. I really enjoyed that Wolverine. Now, I don't play God of War, so it's not really something that's my forte. Like, I'm not really familiar with it. I really wish I was, because God of War, I never owned a PlayStation console until 2019. So when it comes to the God of War stuff, that was way before my time of owning a PlayStation console. So getting back into something like a PS2 game or PS3 game, I don't even know what console it came out on, like a PS3 game, it's something that is really difficult for me to gravitate back to. And I never played the remakes. So when or the God of War reboot from 2018. So when I look into this new God of War, I had no idea what was going on. First of all, I was like really confused. The beginning was really slow, and I'm just gonna be honest, it kind of put me to sleep a little bit, but it did pick up towards the end, and I thought the ending was actually pretty badass. Like, I thought the ending, it really, when she got thrown into like that mountain or whatever, for some reason it gave me the Insomniac Spider-Man 2 Sandman vibes, where they chuck you all the way across the map and you got Miles Morales jumping right back into the action. That's what that scene reminded me of. And just that PlayStation Studio spectacle. That's exactly what I want to see from a PlayStation title. Just this cinematic, very big budget, entertaining video game, and I didn't see that in the first half. I was a little like, okay, where's this going? But the ending looked really good. Now, I wouldn't say this interests me per se, but since they are remaking uh God of War 1 through 3, I will absolutely pick those up. I will try those out. Um as for the 2018 reboot and God of War Ragnarok, let me know whether or not I should play the original 3 before I jump into those, because my biggest concern is that references I won't understand. So if you're someone who's really big into God of War, and knows all the facts and all the information regarding such. I am interested in some of that stuff, but my concern is, am I too late to jump into the modern God of War train? Don't go anywhere. We have a lot more content coming up. But for those lazy Rayman fans out there, no, I'm just joking. My friend's probably listening right now, so I just wanted to call him out. But for those Rayman fans out there, I know you guys are excited, so here's a Rayman song.
It is time to brace for impact.
Brace for impact. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to Gaming Tracks. My name is Alexander Petrie, and for today's Game for Impact, I had a submission from my brother Daniel. I promised this in the first episode. This is your opportunity to get to know him a little bit. And he loves PC gaming. So let's hear what he has to say about the game that impacted him the most in his entire life.
My name is Daniel Petrie. My game that impacted me, I thought about it, and I have to say it's probably Garry's Mod. Garry's Mod was a game that I always liked growing up. It was a game that I always thought was fun, that you could always do anything in. Kind of like a lot of people grew up with Minecraft. I feel like Garry's Mod was kind of like what that was for me. I remember always playing it with you. Always had fun. And I still have fun in that game even till now. Playing that game with you, some of our friends, just messing around in it. I always thought that was fun. I think it definitely paved a way to my taste in video games now. I know that Garry's Mod is a very arcade-style game where you can just mess around, do anything you want, play any game mode you want. And I feel like that kind of translated into a lot of the games I play, such as Risk of Rain 2 or Deep Rock Galactic. Along with that, I think it also gave me a love for single-player first-person shooter games. That would be like Ultra Kill and even Half-Life, with Half-Life 1 being probably one of my favorite video games now, especially with Black Mesa, the fan-made remake. I always thought that was very fun. Of course, there's also games like Team Fortress 2 that also led into a very specific style of game that I like now. From Garry's Mod, a lot of the atmosphere in Team Fortress 2 is very similar to Garry's Mod. And of course, Team Fortress 2 is probably my favorite PvP first-person shooter ever. Very goofy, not really serious. I definitely think that Garry's Mod is largely the reason why, even though Team Fortress 2 is, to be honest. It also helps that I have a lot of friends that like both Team Fortress 2 and Garry's Mod. Even you, Alex. I know that you like both. I don't know about any other first-person shooters that you play now, but I know that occasionally me and you would play some, and I think that's always fun. Yeah, I definitely have to say, I think Garry's Mod is probably my most impacted game that impacted me. Definitely a game that really defined what I like, really. I mean, I feel like the atmosphere of Garry's Mod really translate into some other games I play, like even like Kerbal Space Program. A lot of the goofiness that's in Kerbal Space Program is also in Garry's Mod, and there's really just a lot of games like that I like. I'd say Goat Simulator. That's also a game that has that same goofiness that Garry's Mod has. I always liked that goofy style of game. I feel like not enough games have that, really. There's a very specific style that Gary's mod went for that I feel like a lot of games adapted from that. Anyways, I appreciate you accepting my Games for Impact video. I'll see you next time.
Thank you a lot, Dan, for that Games for Impact submission. If there's anything that I take away while listening to this, is you are a very, very big computer gamer. If you guys managed to watch the first episode, you were probably able to tell that my brother didn't really understand the game controller lingo, but that's because he doesn't play on controller. He mainly plays on computer. So he's really, really big into those niche titles. More recently, like he said, he's been playing a lot of Overkill and games similar to that more lately. But if there's anything that I have to say about the Gary's mod, and I ended up looking for a clip on my friend's Discord alongside my brother, because we have this one. It's so funny to watch, but I figured I'd have a clip just to have you guys listen to the audio. You're probably going to think when you listen to this clip, what the heck is going on? So the context is I have two clips for you. The first clip I'll show is we were racing and I ended up ramming my brother and one of my brother's friends. I pushed the one friend into a sidewalk and then I pushed my brother into the ocean in Gary's mod. And then I drove over this bridge, did a really insane backflip. I was freaking out. So here's this clip.
Alex, what the f*** is your problem?
Oh, no. Oh, no, this guy.
Alex is such a cheater.
Bro, I think I did a
He's such a bad sport.
Dude, I think I did like a front flip or a back flip or something. It was insane. And the second clip I have, it was on the same map. We're playing on Woohoo Island from Wii Sport Resort. And my brother secretly hid a volcano bomb inside the Woohoo volcano. And I had no idea he was doing this. But he picked up my vehicle. He chucked me across the map. I landed in the plaza. And then I got out of my car. And it crashed my game. I just looked up and I just see this gigantic volcano erupting. And I'm like, what? What is that? And it just explodes. And my game crashes. I start freaking out. It's so funny. Just listen to this clip. It's so great.
Escargot. Oh my god, Bowser, what the f***?
Well, why is that volcano erupting? Bro, what'd you do? What the heck?
He crashed the server.
He crashed my game! But I think the funniest thing about this whole clip was I didn't know he planted the bomb, and my first thought was it was a part of the map or like some sort of download for this add-on. I didn't know he planted something, so my first thought was who would have a map with a genuine explosion in it? And then it wasn't until after I sent the clip over to Discord so I could show my brother so we could watch it over again. But it was not until then where he told me, oh yeah, I kind of planted a bomb. I was like, what? Oh man, that was so funny. If you guys enjoyed the audio clip from my brother, you can actually send one too. Just send it over to alexander@gamingtracks.com. That's alexander@gamingtracks.com. You can do it either through the voice memo app for Apple or the voice recorder app for Android. Or if you have any sort of program that does audio recording, you can do that as well. I don't care about the quality. Just send it over. If it sounds muffled or something's going on in the background, I can go ahead. I can clean it up. I can make sure that it sounds professional for your taste and for mine. And speaking of taste, since this is Daniel's Games for Impact, I feel like it would be fitting if I included a song from a game Daniel loves. So here is Reconstructing More Science from Portal 2. Hey, how's it going, everyone? My name's Alexander Petrie, and welcome back to Gaming Tracks. So in this second half, we're going to be talking about our predictions for Summer Game Fest, and I'm here right now with Nathan. He's a really great friend of mine. He loves Final Fantasy VII. He loves Rayman. He loves Final Fantasy VII. He loves Rayman. He just enjoys talking about that stuff, and he was the person I was trying to diss earlier, just doing a little bit of a lazy Rayman discussion. You know what I mean? But it's great to have you on, Nathan. It's, just really
It is a
huge
pleasure to
honor.
be here.
But
It is a pleasure to be here.
for Summer Game Fest, like, do you have any predictions so far coming into?
Predictions. Well, I mean, other than things that are already confirmed, I know we have there's set to be announcements from Fortnite, Among Us, and a few other different publishers. But as of things that have not been announced yet, oh man, I do have some. I think one, which I think is kind of the elephant in the room right now. Should we just unpack it now?
Probably save that to the end, but
Alright.
just to give a small hint, they haven't announced Tifa for Street Fighter 6. That was a huge rumor. People were discussing whether or not Tifa would be a part of Street
True.
Fighter 6. So
And Tekken as well.
yeah,
So-
and what was it, Street Fighter 6 or was it Tekken? I can't remember.
I think it was Tekken, but Street Fighter a little bit as well because there was some weird stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised.
more
I'm
Tekken, I think.
surprised Tifa hasn't been in any of those games yet, because it would make
I'm
sense.
pretty shocked too.
It would make
Especially
sense.
Tekken. She's been highly requested.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. But that was probably one of the things that I kind of assumed they might announce, because when that rumor was floating around on X, that really popped off. I remember seeing Maximilian
Yeah.
Dude talk about that nonstop. And
yeah.
and another game, just to talk about Square Enix for a minute. But another game that people are kind of curious about, and I don't see this happening, Kingdom Hearts 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see that happening. I just don't think
I don't think it's gonna happen. I wouldn't say it's not a possibility though.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't exclude it.
my biggest thing is they cannot drop all three of their biggest franchises at the same
In
time.
one, agreed, because it doesn't leave space for anything for like
Yeah,
there
because
for me
because
like hype to be made. Yeah.
yeah, because there's been a very absent, Dragon Quest and Kingdom Hearts for the past 6 years. The last thing you want to
Yeah.
do is kind of drop everything all at once, and then we have to wait another
Yeah.
several years. It's just wash, rinse, and repeat. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
if they were to announce it, I can actually see that happening at Tokyo Game Show, because
Agreed.
I know Square Enix is pretty involved when it comes to Tokyo Game Show. I do believe that's where they showed off some of their HD 2D games. I'm pretty sure that's where they showed off the Octopath Traveler 0, as well as the Adventures of Elliot. So I can see Kingdom Hearts being a possibility as like the big bang for Tokyo Game Show. But do
Yeah.
I see that happening at all this year? Probably not. I think they might hold off till next year's Summer Game Fest, or at least in the first half of next year. Because that's if I was to guess, Part 3 comes out, like Final Fantasy VII Part 3 comes out at the beginning of next year. I feel like they wouldn't announce Kingdom Hearts 4 until after.
Agreed.
Yeah, until after Part 3 releases. But
Yeah.
another game, you can stop me right here as soon as I mention this. Deltarune Chapter 5 trailer.
I don't think it's gonna happen here. If it happens at all, so here's my opinion. So, as of today, actually, Nate the Hate has claimed that there will be a Nintendo Direct next week. If, I think Deltarune Chapter 5 would probably be more likely to get announced in this supposed Direct that's happening next week, since Deltarune has been so closely tied to Nintendo Directs since its release. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen in an event such as this, especially since Deltarune is indie.
Yeah.
Um,
Did,
Not saying that indie can't get announced, but I don't think it's the type of place. I don't think it has the audience that Toby knows is very passionate about Deltarune. I think he knows his fan base
yeah.
well, and he knows that they're gonna be at like Nintendo Directs and more I guess like publisher oriented
Mm-hmm.
like
Now,
I guess events.
do you know if Toby Fox is more or less associated to Nintendo Directs, or
Um
because I think Chapter 3 and 4 was
yeah, they announced it in the Switch 2 Direct, which was
they did.
from last year. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And I think I'm pretty sure chapter people listening can, I guess, confirm if I'm right, but I want to say Chapter 2 was also announced there as well. So
Hmm.
wasn't in a Nintendo Direct. So and
Now,
Undertale in general has just always been
now,
like it's because it has arguably the best version
yeah.
of the games tied to the Nintendo platform and all that. So
Bouncing off of Deltarune Chapter 5, I
hmm,
don't see Duskbloods being shown at Summer
I
Game
don't so either.
Fest.
I don't think that's the case either, especially with today because FromSoft actually gave Elden Ring the Nintendo Switch 2 version a release date. It's going to be in August.
Oh yeah?
And I definitely think that there's a reason that they decided to do that. If this supposed direct happens next week, it makes a lot of sense because it gives them, you have the Elden Ring announcement date, and then if we get a direct, they can give a more meaty trailer for Dustbloods and maybe give a release date as well.
Y-
So I
Yeah,
definitely think we'll see.
especially since the Duskbloods is tied to Nintendo. I feel like they want to I
Definitely.
feel like Nintendo would want that to be their big game for their
Oh
direct,
yeah,
is to
and
show
especially
that
since we've
off.
heard, yeah, especially since we've heard Radio Silence since it got announced last April I think, right? So
Yeah. And then I also put down no GTA 6 whatsoever.
I don't
I
I don't
I
think it's happening.
well, I have always said, and you've seen the first trailer, how many views the first trailer for GTA
Yeah,
6 had. It's like 200 plus million. It's insane.
it's a lot.
They
It's a lot.
spent over 2 billion in budget alone.
Yeah,
Why would they put money towards gaining attention from Summer Game Fest if they don't need it in the first place?
agreed.
If
Fully agreed.
anything, Jeff Keighley would want to pay Rockstar to show their game at Summer Game Fest because the amount of views GTA
Exactly.
6 gets. So I don't
Would bring
think
because they yeah,
I don't think they'll show
I
GTA
don't think
6
so either.
whatsoever.
I mean, I
Um
could see it maybe getting a name drop or something, but I don't think it's
yeah.
we're gonna see anything new.
Now,
Um,
I also put I just want to skim through some of these. I put Hogwarts Legacy 2. Um I've heard that going around the rumor mill that they're
hmm,
working on that, and perhaps a trailer's ready or perhaps not, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we'll see anything on that for
hmm,
Summer Game Fest, but it's always a possibility. And that's what
hmm.
I'm mentioning here. And another one is Interstellar Galactic or Intergalactic Prophet or whatever the game's called for PlayStation. I don't see that happening either, because if they were to show it, I feel like they would show that during the PlayStation Direct. But since they didn't, I don't think they'll show that. But they also said that game was going to be relatively far out, like a 2028 game, so or maybe even 2027. So
Mm.
normally when it comes to uh Summer Game Fest, when they show games, more or less you're looking at releases within the first quarter of the following year.
Yeah,
So I don't really see them showing anything for Interstellar or Intergalactic.
I don't
Um,
think so yet. I still think they have a lot more time
yeah.
to tidy everything up before they want to show more. One thing I wanna there's actually two things I want to go over. One thing So Sega is confirmed to appear at Summer Game Fest.
Oh.
Um,
You just
and
you
yeah.
just popped something in my head.
So I'm curious to see what happens. I'm curious. I don't know if they would do anything for Sonic Frontiers.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
Yeah, Sonic Frontiers 2 or something. That was one of the
Yeah,
things.
I'm curious to see if they do that or announce a new 3D game or even a 2D game. Even though I mean, granted, we got a new 2D game.
Mhm.
I think like 2 years ago. Um, maybe yeah, definitely. I could see something from Sega. Getting announced, especially with. I know there's also like rumors of a new Persona game with Persona
Yeah,
6. And
that's
technically,
what
Atlas is under Sega.
I listed. I put Persona 6,
Mm.
and that's another game that I kind of How
I feel like
many
that would be at Tokyo Game
Ye
Fest. I kind of feel like
I feel like that'd
if
be
it
at
were
the
done
Game
now.
Awards, if I'm being honest.
I was gonna say I feel like Game
Because
Awards or Tokyo
because
Game
I
Fest.
feel like
No, I don't
I
think Summer
feel
Game
like they're
Fest.
pretty far out. Like, I feel like the earliest we could get Persona 6 is at the end of next year. But
Agreed.
when it comes to
Also,
Persona 6, how many big games can you show at Summer Game Fest? Because you want to limit
agreed.
yourself. So I don't really see Persona 6, but I've seen the leaks. Okay, I've seen the
Yeah, and so
character model leaks going around, and I heard Sega's really
Hmm.
pissed off that those got leaked. I always questioned how character models and like, it had to be an inside job, but
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm really
Something else
curious
about
when we'll hear Persona 6.
yeah, and mentioning game because you mentioned Game Awards. I think it's a likely place for it to get announced as well because there's been an odd amount of Persona stuff that has happened with the Game Awards. I know I think 2018 Joker got announced for Smash Bros at the Game Awards, but also I think in 2020 I think 2021 or 2022 they did like a live music performance of Persona 5 music. So
Oh, yeah?
there's always been like an abundance of Persona 5 stuff at the Game Awards. So
Well,
obviously it has the audience. So
how many songs do they play at the Game Awards? Because that's
I
what
don't know. It was one of their
because that's
pre-shows.
exactly what they did for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Is they had
Mm,
what's her name, Lauren Allred. They had her sing the theme song for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So I don't know how many times they allow people to sing at the Game Awards, but if they were to
mm.
have anyone sing for this year's, I feel like it would be whoever will be doing the new theme for Part 3. That's my best guess.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
since we're already on the subject, let's talk about the
We
elephant in
might
the
as well
room.
talk about it. Yeah.
Part 3, dude.
Final Fantasy
Part 3.
7 Remake Part 3.
So I want to put a pin in this.
Mm.
The title of the game. I have two titles in mind. I feel like it's either
Alright, let's
going
hear
to
them.
be, and I'm not a part of the return crowd. I want to come up with something different.
He's not.
I feel like it's either going to be Reunion, and you know what? Tell me all you want. That's what Crisis Core is called. I do not care. I do not care that the Crisis Core remaster is called Reunion. I think Part 3 will either be called Reunion or Relive.
Mm.
And the reason why I think it's Relive is a possibility is because it goes through the life cycle with these three games. You got remake when something's being made, and you got rebirth when something's being born, and then you got relive when that born individual starts living their life. And I think there's a couple meanings behind relive as well. I think it raises the question, is Aerith alive or is she dead? As well as the audience getting to relive their experience of Final Fantasy VII. So it's just an experience that people are reliving. As for the logo, this is what I take from it. So remake feels very hollow. It feels like it's been in a cocoon. It's lifeless. That's what the logo looks like. It doesn't seem like there's any color to it. And then Rebirth shows a little bit of red on the bottom, as if something's brewing. Okay, you got something's going to happen, you know what I mean? And I think part 3
Wait, can I tell you what color I think it's going to be?
Sure.
My guess is purple.
Purple.
I don't know why. I feel in my elbows.
I hear people that actually does float around a lot, purple. But I think part 3 will also be red. But I think it's going to be big. I think the red will dominate the logo.
Like dominate the entire logo.
Yeah, I think if you want the last game to feel, if you want the last logo to feel big and bombastic, light the whole damn thing on fire. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Have it spew and have it feel like it can't get any more intense than a
Like
completely...
this is a finale, like
Yeah, just throw a whole bunch of red in the logo. And to me, that's my best guess. I think it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Relive with a really intense red logo.
Mm.
But what? So you said it was going to be purple. What do you think the name's going to be?
So for everyone listening, so for context, Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm also a Nintendo user, so I only have gotten the chance to play Remake this January when it released on Switch 2, which is a fantastic port, by the way.
Soul.
And actually,
you poor soul, man. Oh god.
And as of when we're recording this, it's a Thursday, so it's actually yesterday. Rebirth just released on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I snagged that physical copy to get my special Zack Fair card. But I haven't had the chance to play it. However, just by playing part 1, I strongly feel it's gonna be reunion. I feel like a lot of the dialogue and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the word reunion, just I've noticed it just tends to pop up a lot. And I have played Crisis Core, fantastic game. I played the remaster for the Switch. And I know there's the camp of people that are like, oh, but Square already named it Crisis Core or Reunion Core. You know, like they can't name one of the games that. My response to that is, when has Square Enix ever cared about the names of their games being consistent? I mean, back in the 90s, Final Fantasy 3 was actually Final Fantasy 6. So,
dude, I love that you mentioned that, because I've never seen anyone state, well, 3 is 6 and 6 is 3. It's like, what the hell's going on here? I've never seen anyone make that observation.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious that I think it's crazy that I haven't seen anyone mention that as a reference.
And even like the Kingdom Hearts games, like there's so many different games that are like 2.5 and stuff, and like just really just jank titles. So like,
what is 2.5? Is that 3 or what?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's like additional content, right?
I don't even know, to be honest. Let me look up the title real quick. Sorry, I apologize.
No,
Kingdom Hearts
it's
HD
fine.
2.5
It's
remix.
fine.
Sorry, my apologies. It's Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 remix. My bad. There's a remix to it, but
don't get me started with Dragon Quest 11 Echoes of Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
There's
what
a
is?
million versions.
It's a huge title, but
So yeah, my response is, and also I'm just saying that Kingdom Hearts, by the way, Tetsuya Nomura, Final Fantasy VII Remake series, Tetsuya Nomura. So my response is, Square has never cared about their game names being consistent. So I think Reunion still has a very, very strong chance at the end of the day. Even though I haven't played part 2, don't get mad at me.
Well,
I think Reunion is a good chance. I think Relive also has a fantastic chance as well. But
Reunion, it's not just good, but it's kind of paving the entire franchise. Like the series, the remake series. How many times do you have to mention Reunion just to not call part 3 Reunion?
Exactly.
Like why would it not be called Reunion?
Yeah. Like, it definitely is a very long, slow burn, especially considering, like, how long the remake trilogy has been going on for. It's a very long, slow burn, but it's one that I think will pay off incredibly well if they decide to go that route and call it Reunion.
Yeah. But, so this is my... I'll just end off right here, and I want to ask you what how you think the trailer will be. But I think when they show this teaser... or this trailer, I don't think it's going to be a teaser. I think it's going to be full-on trailer. But I think
Mhm.
I would imagine they're going to do a fake out. So my prediction is, and a lot of people out here, and I'm with them, I absolutely hate when they show teasers and it's just cutscene. No
Just
gameplay,
cinematic, yeah.
just cinematic. I hate that. I think it would be absolutely against the standard if Square Enix went ahead and showed 20 seconds or 30 seconds of a
Just
cinematic
a little bit of
trailer
gameplay.
and then it fade to black and you're like, "Oh, is that it?"
Oh, that's it.
And
cuts
then
to
it
gameplay.
shows gameplay, and then all of a sudden
That would be that
you
would
get all these
Wow.
scenes, and then at the very end of and this is when people are gonna start freaking out. At the very end, we'll get the name drop, multi-platform.
Yeah, I definitely
Multi-platform.
think multi-platform. I 100%. I have to say, I 1,000,000% agree with you there. I think, especially, and I have to say, it's very ironic timing that they decided to release part 2. Basically, like what, like 3, yeah, literally like 3 days before Summer Game Fest, or 2 days before Summer Game Fest.
Yeah,
So I
but
don't think that's without a reason.
But-
I think they're trying to give people time to catch up so they can be excited for part 3 and get on it at day 1.
if Jeff Keighley wants to recover, and I'll just say this, if he wants to recover from one of the worst conclusions to a Game Awards in history, I mean, High Guard, we wouldn't even, we're not even talking about that anymore because it actually shut down. Okay, if he,
Oh wow, I
if
didn't know that.
yeah, High Guard's done. It already discontinued. You go on Steam database, there's only like one person trying to, there's only one person online probably just upset basically. But there's
Sorry
like
to the 100
no
that's been
active
listening.
users. It's actually shut down. But if Jeff Keighley wants to recover from such a lousy Game Awards, there's no better game than the one that a lot of people have been asking for,
Which is GTA 6.
which is GTA 6. No, that Final Fantasy 7 Part 3, multi-platform.
Yeah.
People will go ballistic.
Oh yeah. And especially since like so much, I've even just noticed, just in my own observations, like a lot of the discussion around Summer Game Fest, a lot of people just in general have been talking, just shifting it from like Summer Game Fest to just Final Fantasy 7 Part 3. So
Yeah.
it's highly expected and wanted by people, and I think it would be kind of bananas if they didn't do it now of all time.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, I don't know when else they could announce it to space out everything else that they have going on.
If they don't show it at Summer Game Fest, first
It'll be Game
It'll
Awards.
be Game Awards. But the big thing is, I feel like it'd start fading out. Like I feel like people would start being concerned. I think the conversation will start dying a little bit because if it's not at Summer Game Fest, then the hopes to seeing it at the Game Awards might not be that high either. Because how many times can we sit back and get excited to see something just to get disappointed? So, Summer Game Fest, this is the best time to do it. All right, so this has got to do it for today's episode. We're only a couple hours out from Summer Game Fest. I hope you guys let me know what you guys think about the Summer Game Fest. We'll go ahead and discuss it. I might actually film some reactions of us looking at part 3 on the TV if that just so happens. If not, I'll just film our reactions of disappointment. But
Wait, before we head out, I have to say one last thing. This is my this is my wild card guess tomorrow. I'm going to make this really quick. New Simpsons hit and run game.
Hit and run.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just trust me, it's going to happen. There's been a lot of Simpsons video game stuff in the past year. It's going to happen. Trust me. That's to the viewers watching. If it happens, you all owe me $20.
But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Expect the next one to be next Tuesday. We're going to be discussing the Summer Game Fest and our thoughts on it. Don't forget to check out gamingtracks.com. If you ever miss an episode, the content will be on there. I recently added episode 1 on Spotify and some of the streaming platforms. So if you end up missing this episode or any other episode, you can find that on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, you name it, it will be on there. And we will see you guys next time.